The weirdest thing we had was probably the lady that had her head cut off by her husband, and he made a throne on the fireplace, put her head on the fireplace, and had all the candles burning and all that kind of thing. On an average biohazard cleanup, meaning suicide, homicide, anything with blood or bodily fluid, our crew responds. We have multiple vans, but the van is equipped with biohazard bins, any chemicals we could want to use, tools for cutting out, drywall, subflooring, carpeting, dismantling beds, whatever they could possibly face, the vans are equipped with. Our roadway truck that goes to all the exterior trauma, it basically is like a big vacuum truck and a pressure washer. So we have a tool that comes off, we hook all the hoses up to it, and it pressure washes the concrete or the asphalt and vacuums up all the blood at the same time. So we really don't have to even touch anything anymore. That truck saves us a lot of time. We've cleaned these scenes for many years by hand, never to the point where this truck can do it in 20 minutes. We've gone on several pretty horrific scenes, what I would call horrific. In particular, we went on a car accident where a city employee for the city that we have the contract with got off work and was going home on his motorcycle and was on a pretty wide open road, and a lady crossed the yellow line and hit him head on. And the scene was spread over about 100 yards, so a whole football field with just matter and blood everywhere. And the impact was so great that his upper half actually ended up inside the car with her. It went through the windshield. On decompositions, basically what happens is the body, starts to decay. Usually after 24 hours to 48 hours, they start to decompose. The body will swell and bloat. Sometimes it'll actually pop when it gets to the point where it can't expand anymore. And then it just starts liquefying, as everything decays. So the fluid just basically goes with gravity. If it's an upstairs apartment, you can only imagine where it's going to go if no one finds it soon enough. It'll actually go through the bed they're on or the floor they're laying on. It'll go through the carpet, the padding, the subflooring, and within, several days it will start leaking to a downstairs unit. The lady died in her bathtub, and I don't know how, but somehow the water leaked out as she was expanding and dripped all down to the downstairs unit, through all their kitchen cabinets, all their drywall, so the whole downstairs unit is biohazard now. Suicides are usually, dependent again on how they do it, but if someone uses a shotgun versus a .22 caliber gun, the cleaning is obviously way different. We've gone on a shotgun where the whole room is completely covered with brain matter, skull pieces, you name it. Whereas, .22 caliber or something, even if they stick it to their head, most likely there isn't an exit wound, so they'll just fall down right where they are and there'll just be a pool of blood. Well, this truck is a Toyota that unfortunately someone committed suicide in. They used a large caliber handgun, stuck the gun under their mouth. You can see the bullet hole came out the top, which means there was an exit wound on him, which means the mess was pretty great. The whole inside of this truck is affected by spray and matter and blood. And basically the process on cleaning these out, most of the fabrics and seats will just tear out of here and dispose of as biohazard. If it's not too bad, we will actually clean and disinfect it. Like the door panels, the dashboard, steering wheel, hard stuff like that that's not porous, we can clean and disinfect. And then we'll try to run our odor machines in here because I think this happened over a month ago, so there is a pretty bad odor in there. Cars in general like this, if we're able to clean them and restore all the fabrics and stuff, there is nothing to disclose, so this will be sold to somebody, and unfortunately, they won't even know what happened. Something to think about when you buy a used car. You could be buying a car that somebody has actually been murdered in or committed suicide. When we respond to a homicide scene, depending on the type of homicide, obviously our main focus is to get rid of all the blood and all the evidence and any reminder of what happened there. Our goal is to make the family be able to come home and not see what happened. Homicides that involve like a stabbing or a blunt instrument of some kind, they're usually much larger scenes because people fight off their attackers, they run, so sometimes that'll involve several rooms in a house, or they run outside and you're just cleaning up a trail of blood. Versus like a shooting, most people when they get shot, they collapse, they fall down, and they bleed right there. These are all mattresses from this last week. Unfortunately, this mattress, you can tell it's a rather small spot, but that's because it was like a 6-month-old infant who was stabbed by her mother, and then the mother killed herself, and no one found either one of them for 3 weeks. So she basically decomposed and bled on this mattress. Well, there's one bad scene that usually comes to mind when we think of what our worst one is, and it's not that it was the bloodiest or the messiest. It was very bloody, but it was more just the struggle that happened. This man and wife were at home early in the morning. They were getting ready for work. She left first, and I guess some people were staking out the house and thought when she left the house was empty. So they broke in, climbed up the back lattice, broke in through the window, and he was still in the shower. So when he got out of the shower, they kind of realized each other were there, and a fight ensued. He was actually a kung fu karate master, and so he put up a good fight, but unfortunately, there was more than one of the other people, but they used power tools on him. I mean, the whole house was just ransacked, and you could see blood in every room. You could actually see the markings on the wall where the saws were cutting through him and the wall at the same time. So that one really bothered everybody, just to know how much that guy suffered. And then they took his body down to the downstairs bathroom and lit it on fire. So the whole thing was quite bothersome. I don't think this job affects my life. I really don't. I've been in EMS for 16 years now, so I've seen this for a long time. If anything, I learned to enjoy life more, because you never know. Anything can happen now. I do realize that because we see a lot of weird stuff, just freak accidents and suicides and homicides, anything. So you don't know where your life's going to be in a year or 2 years. So I would say if I get anything out of it, it's just to enjoy life more.